Hello everybody, it's time for Tick or Fix. And in today's Tick or Fix, we're going to be looking at missing number patterns. So I'm going to put the numbers up on the screen, pause the video, have a go, and when you're ready, press play and let's tick or fix. Right, let's make a start. And we need to firstly read that question really carefully. Write the missing numbers. Step 2, what do we have? 1, 2, 3, and then we've got 3 missing numbers. Step 3 was to see if it's going in ascending or descending. So are the numbers getting bigger or getting smaller? So 1, 2, 3. So the numbers are going up, aren't they? They're counting upwards. And step 4 was to look at the differences between numbers. So 1 add 1 is 2, 2 add 1 is 3. We can see that each time the number gets bigger by 1. So we know how to figure this one out then. Now checking our answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That pattern is obviously correct. We'll move on to the next one then, which hopefully is a little bit more difficult. We've got 16, 14, 12, missing number, missing number, missing number. Step 3, are my numbers ascending? Are they getting bigger or are they getting smaller? So we started with 16, then we went to 14, and then we went to 12. So our numbers are getting smaller, that's right. And now we need to think, what is the difference between numbers? So to get from 16 to 14, how many do I need to count down? How many do I need to count backwards? So on 16, 14, so there's 2 there. Let's just check here if it's the same amount. 14, 13, 12, 2 there. So we're counting backwards in 2s, aren't we? So 16, 14, 12. The next number would be 10. Then 8, and finally 6. And step 5, let's just check that answer. So 16 take away 2 is 14, 14 take away 2 is 12, 12 take away 2 is 10, 10 take away 2 is 8, and 8 take away 2 is 6. That looks good to me. Now our next question. 79, missing number, 82, 83, missing number. So the missing numbers are in different spaces this time, which makes it a little bit more difficult. And because we can't compare, we can't see how much our number is increasing or decreasing from this part. So step 3 is to see, are our numbers increasing or decreasing? Are they ascending or descending? So are they getting bigger or are they getting smaller? So we've started with 79. We don't know what's here yet. 82 and 83. So our numbers are getting bigger. That's right, because 83 is bigger than 82 and 82 is bigger than 79. Next step then is to figure out the difference between the numbers. Now what I'm going to do for this is look at numbers that we know, that we already have, that are next to each other. So I've got 82 and 83 that are next to each other, and I can work out what the difference is between these. So how many do I need to count on from 82 to get to 83? 1. So the difference, hopefully, is 1. So we're going to try that. 79, add 1 would be 80, add 1 again, 81, 82, 83, and 84. So that makes sense. Step 5 is to check our answer. 80, 81, 82, 83, 84. Looks good to me. Moving on to our next question then, let's see what we have. 5, something missing, 20, 25, another missing number. So, are our numbers ascending or descending? So look at what we have here and what do we have here? So is 25 bigger than 5? Yeah, so our numbers seem to be ascending. They're increasing. They're getting bigger. For step 4, we need to look at two numbers really, don't we, that are next to each other to see if we can find out the difference. We've got 20 and 25. So how far do I need to count on to get from 20 to 25? So put 20 in my head and let's count how many spaces it takes to get to 25. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 5 spaces. And in fact, you might have noticed that if you know your 5 times table well, you might have noticed a pattern there already. So we now know that the difference is 5 between these two numbers, and hopefully if we apply that to the other missing number spaces, we'll see that they're going up in 5s. So we've got 5. 5 after 5, when we're counting 5 as it goes, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and 30. Is that what you got? Let's check that answer one more time. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That is a clear pattern because we're counting up in 5s. Let's look at our next question then. 12, 15, 18, missing number, missing number, missing number. Step 3 is to see if we're going in ascending order or descending order. So it starts with 12, then we had 15, then we had 18. So the numbers are ascending, they're increasing. Step 4 then is to look at the difference. What's the difference between 12 and 15? I count on from 12 to 15, how many spaces would I be counting on? So start with 12, and you go 13, 14, 15. Remember to stop at 15. 12, 13, 14, 15 is 3 spaces. Let's see if that's the same amount of spaces to get from 15 to 18. So start with 15, 16, 17, 18. Yeah, so it looks like we are counting in 3s here. So 12, 15, 18. Next would be 21, then 24, and 27. Step 5 is to check our answer, and because in year 2 we know how to count in 3s, the pattern should sound quite familiar to us. So it's 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27. That looks good to me. Now, moving on to our next question. Let's look at what we have. Missing number, missing number, missing number, 11, 13, 15. So these numbers are going in ascending order, aren't they? Because 15 is bigger than 13 and 13 is bigger than 11. The numbers are getting bigger. Now we need to look at the differences between the numbers. So how many steps does it take to get from 11 to 13? 2 steps. Or from 13 to 15? 2 steps again. So the difference between the numbers is 2. We're going to have to count backwards this time, aren't we? Because the numbers that are missing, our missing numbers, come before these ones. So this is going to be 2 less than 11, and this is going to be 2 less than that number, and this is going to be 2 less than that number. So 11 take away 2 is 9. And let's subtract another 2. 7. And let's subtract another 2. 5. And now we need to check our answer, so let's make sure there's a definite pattern there. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15. So 5 and 2 is 7, add 2 is 9, add 2 is 11, add 2 is 13, add 2 is 15. And I notice that these numbers are all odd numbers. That's right, they're odd. So that looks good to me. We're going to move on to our next question. Step 2, what do we have so far? 500, 400, missing number, 100. So we've just got 2 missing numbers on this one. Step 3, are our numbers ascending or descending? So are they getting bigger or are they getting smaller? So if we compare the last number to the first number, is 100 greater than or less than 500? It's less than, isn't it? And 400 is less than 500, so our numbers are getting smaller, aren't they? Step 4, let's have a look at the difference between two numbers, and we'll focus on two numbers that are next to each other. So 500, 400, the difference is 100, isn't it? 400 is 100 less than 500. So 500, 400, 300. And the next one would be, so 500, 400, 300, 200, 100. And now it's time for our last one. So I've made this last question a little bit harder. So let's apply that strategy. Look at what we've got first. 94, 90, missing number, 82, missing number, 74, missing number. Step 3 is to see if our numbers are ascending or descending. So let's compare our last number to our first number. So we've got 74 and we've got 94 at the beginning. So we start off from 94 and now we have 74. So our numbers are getting smaller, they're descending. Right, our next step, step 4, was to find the difference between two numbers. So the only two numbers that are next to each other are these ones. So it's 94. How far do we have to count backwards to get to 90? Well, I can see straight away that 94 has 9 tens and 4 ones, and 90 has 9 tens, but there aren't any ones. So the difference is 4 ones. But let's just check. 94, 93, 92, 91, 90. So the difference is 4. So we need to count backwards 4 spaces from each number, and then we'll see if it makes sense. So 94, 90. So 90 take away 4 is, put 90 in your head, 89, 88, 87, 86. Let's keep counting backwards and forward just to check that the pattern is right. So 86 take away 4, hopefully that's 82. So put 86 in your head, 85, 84, 83, 82. So it's looking good. And 82 take away 4, 82 in your head, 81, 80, 79, 78. And hopefully if we subtract 4 again, we'll get to 74. So 78, 77, 76, 75, 74. And to find our final missing number, we just need to subtract 4 again, don't we? Because each time we're subtracting 4. That's the pattern. 74, subtract 4 is, if I remove these 4 ones, I'm just left with 7 tens, which is 70. 74 in my head, 73, 72, 71, 70. Brilliant. And step 5, let's check the answer. That looks right to me. How did you get on? Tick or fix those answers and keep letting me know how you're doing. See you later then. Bye bye.